Hello everyone, and I wanted to welcome you to the 2020 poster competition, the Energy Students Poster competition, and this is the announcement of the winners. This year we're going to have a different format than the previous years for obvious reasons, but we are very happy that we managed to push forward and make it happen. We're happy for different reasons. Because it is a long tradition for the AIE. They have the poster competition. We're spanning over 3 decades of competition. And if you, just to highlight, if you think back 30 years ago, the topics were very different than we are today. Today, it's all about the energy transition. Back then, we're still about what was different energy sources. So some of the topics that were then cutting edge, as in effective turbulence and small-scale wind farms 20 years ago. But going back, it was even around coal and water, the chemistry of the interactions between them. We moved fully online, so there's no physical event. We are doing it all here. Normally, we do it in the All Energy Conference, and as most of you know, that was pushed or will not happen this year. What we do have is we do have online visibility, and we can now look at all the parameters of the online event. We've had so far over 3,000 views on YouTube of the different videos, the sponsor videos, and the students. It meant a lot of changing and adapting because we didn't know whether we could have a physical event or not. But we had to basically restart the whole format of how we actually do it, even the judging process. But we were very happy to do it. We're very happy to have the sponsors, the same sponsors as last time, or most of them came back. And we especially appreciate that given the challenging economical times, it's still the sponsors found the space to support us. And I can highlight one of the comments for them was that even in times of challenge, we still need to look forward. We still need to look at how we progress our research and support the emerging research leaders. I would like to thank the sponsors according to the types of sponsorships. So we have the Platinum Prize provided by the Victorian government, and we have Gabrielle Henry as the Director of Industry Engagement and Development. As a silver sponsor, we have BayWa AIE with Kevin Ser as the Managing Director. Also for silver, we have Monash University being presented by Ariel Leibman, a director of the Monash Energy Institute. Similarly, on that level, a similar silver sponsorship is from the University of Melbourne with Anita La Rosa, who is the manager of the Melbourne Energy Institute. And at bronze, we have SEED Advisory, represented by Patricia Boyce, who is the director of SEED Advisory. I'd also like to thank the organizing team and primarily to Glenn Drover, who, despite everything that's happened this year, has pushed it forward and has continuously found ways to make things happen. So a lot of this is a result of his efforts. And also I want to thank the judges who went through all the submissions in different formats and did that in a very short time frame. So just a word today, the students who do not know what they won, we already indicated that they are going to win something. So we do have still a bit of a running jam towards the announcements. And we will start with the Bronze Award sponsorship being provided by SEED Advisory. And I'd like to invite Patricia Boyce from SEED Advisory to jump onto the call. And a few words on SEED Advisory. It's a commercial and strategic advisory firm specialized in the energy sector. They work with retailers, generators, gas producers, users, infrastructure businesses, and many more. Patricia?
Thank you, Kadem. SEED Advisory is a small firm. We do a lot of work in the areas about whether or not you can do something and indeed whether you should do something in the energy market. So we've been delighted to be involved with this competition both this year and in its previous incarnation. And today I'm thrilled to announce that the winner of the Bronze Prize is Michael Liu for his project assessing the fairness of solar PV curtailment schemes. Michael, congratulations.
So this is where usually people walk up to the stage, and yeah, so we always have a bit of a pause. So we are duplicating it. Michael, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. Cool. So hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much, and also like to thank the community for organizing this, as well as the sponsors. Yes, thank you very much. I'm very honored to have this award.
Cool. And we would like to ask you, or Patricia, do you want to ask the elevator pitch question?
The specific elevator pitch question, because my key question, Michael, is, so this is a very important topic which we do too little investigation in. What drew you to it?
Yes, so indeed, I do agree this is a very important question. So, but before I answer the question, just thinking like, so as an electricity user, you normally don't think about this aspect of fairness. Like when you turn on your lights, or when you turn on your kettle, everything just works. But then suddenly now when you start installing PV systems, depending where you are in the network, you can be heavily curtailed, or you might not be able to use your PV system much at all. So the start of this work is really, so I started working on the modeling of distribution networks because I'm very interested in renewable energy. And then as I was looking into the optimization of distribution networks. And then that's when I started discovering that, well, because the nature of distribution networks is mostly radio, unlike transmission networks, you can start having this very different effects depending on where you are in the network. So that's really what started my investigation. And then, so the focus of this particular work is really looking at all different ways that customers can be affected because of different PV curtailment schemes. Because we know that PV curtailment is definitely necessary to mitigate network issues, but how do you do this fairly to make sure everyone is happy? It's a very important topic. So that's how I started this, and I'm very excited to work on this topic.
Great, Michael.
Cool.
Thank you.
Excellent, Michael. And thank you again, Patricia, for being a sponsor of the prize. So each winner is going to get a plaque with an with kind of certifying the year and the student award. And for this award, it is $500 that we will hope will be used well to progress research or just enjoy. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.
We will move now to the first silver sponsor, Monash University with Ariel Leibman. I imagine most of you know Monash University. It's one of the leading academic institutes in Australia, and the Energy Institute specifically is also aligning with that. Ariel, anything else to add about Monash and the Energy Institute?
Oh, look, what can I say? I mean, we're fantastic, of course, and we really appreciate working with the Australian Institute of Energy. Sorry, brain fuzz, and really happy to be sponsoring this award, the Silver Award, and I'm very heartened by the huge turnout across all the universities in this. And I just remember when we were seeing all the videos roll out, and just every day there are a few more, and I thought it would never end. So, great turnout from all the students across the universities in Victoria, and also great turnout from Monash students. So yeah, so thank you, Kedem and Glenn and the whole AIE infrastructure for organizing these awards.
Thank you, and we do appreciate that the universities, probably for both Monash and Melbourne, these are not hard times given the restrictions on teaching and so on, but we're very thankful for the continuing sponsorship. And now to move to the winner, so for the Silver Award.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to announce that Brian Jong he gets the Silver Award for engineering bacteria for electrosynthesis of sustainable fuels and chemicals. This is still a important and growing area in the meeting the demands of the community for decarbonized energy. We've got a lot of various sources of biomass and other organic materials that can be put to good use. And it's been a challenging pathway for this. Sometimes we forget about the fact that this is a great opportunity because there's so much hype about wind and solar and things like that. So I think that's also,
Cool.
which are also valuable. So yeah, thank you, Brian.
Cool. You got to make sure you leave Brian a few words to say about why it is important as well. So Brian, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the AIE committee and the Monash Energy Institute for sponsoring this award and arranging this opportunity for our students to be able to present our work during such hard times where we can't really go to conferences and connect with other people.
Cool. Excellent. And Brian, I guess I like the point that Patricia raised. It's kind of the why, So when you can say a few words, of course, about what it is, the research, but how did you get to the topic?
Yeah, sure. So just a little bit of a summary about my research. So I'm looking at engineering E. coli, which is the bacteria that gives everyone food poisoning, which is a simple and very straightforward bacteria to use, and modifying it so that it can produce fuels and chemicals. The way I'm doing it is trying to develop it so that it can use carbon dioxide to produce liquid fuels with the assistance of electricity to provide that little extra oomph that is required when using carbon dioxide as a feedstock. So the reason why I wanted to kind of develop a project around using microbiology is that I did my undergraduate in chemical engineering, and in that process, I kind of learned a lot about using catalysis to produce liquid fuels. But in those processes, you need a lot of heat, which is typically derived from other fossil fuels. So it kind of ends up being a very circular process where you're trying to produce sustainable fuels, but in essence, you're also using fossil fuels to get the energy needed for that production. So although that is probably a great technology as a transitional basis to develop more renewable and sustainable processes, it's probably not very viable in the long term. And that's where I kind of looked at using microorganisms, which requires a lot less energy and a lot less heat to be able to function properly. So you can use a lot more renewable energy feedstocks to be able to run these production processes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Definitely sounds like one of the interesting directions, and I think it's an illustration that we need to make sure we don't just focus on the standard solutions, but and this is where the academia is important, is to find those next steps that can be complementary to what is being deployed right now. So thanks again, Brian, and congratulations, and Ariel again for support of Monash University. And now we'll move to the next silver. We try to balance it. Both universities have got in silver, and both universities we appreciate the effort being done, as I said, despite the current situation. So I'd like to invite Anita to speak on behalf of Melbourne Uni. Melbourne University, again, I assume everyone has heard of it, but it is one of the leading energy institutes in Australia. And they work in, of course, all the different aspects of the energy transition. Anita, over to you.
Thanks, Kadim. Hi, everyone. I'm Anita La Rosa. I'm the Institute Manager for the Melbourne Energy Institute at the University of Melbourne. We're really pleased to support the AIE Poster Awards and to recognise and celebrate the excellent work by young up-and-coming researchers. So I'm thrilled to announce that the winner of the Silver Sponsor Award is Angela Simonovska from the University of Melbourne for her poster on phase grouping of residential customers using smart meter data. Congratulations, Angela.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the organizers as well for giving us this opportunity to present our work.
Cool, excellent. And congratulations, Angela. And yeah, I guess the two questions have been recurring so far is A, if you can say a bit more, the elevator pitch about why you chose, what is it, and why you chose the topic of research.
All right, yeah, so just a short summary of my research. As you said, so it's phase grouping of residential customers using smart meter data. So with the fast implementation of residential solar PV systems, there are a lot of challenges for distribution companies. So adequate three-phase low voltage feeder models are needed. But one of the major challenges, however, is to know the phase group to which residential customers are connected to. Now, without having the topology of the low voltage network, but by only considering the single phase smart meters from the customer's premises, we can use their voltage time series data. So based on the principal component analysis method and K-means clustering technique, which are both of the unsupervised machine learning. And therefore, we can determine the phase group to which residential customers are connected to. So basically, using data analytics, we are able to determine the phase groups to which residential customers are connected to. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Thank you very much, Angela, and congratulations. And thank you again, Anita, and the Melbourne Energy Institute.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We will now move to BayWa RE and Kevin Sir. And BayWa is one of the leading global developers of renewable energy solutions. And they work based on sustainable principles, while aiming to empower a diverse team and to foster relationships with customers and partners. Kevin, glad to have you on board.
Pleasure. Thanks very much, Kevin. My name is Kevin Z. I'm the Managing Director of BayWa Projects Australia. In Australia, we're actually a subsidiary of a larger German listed company. Our parent company turned over about $17 billion last year, so we're substantial, but we're relatively new in Australia, about 3 years old in Australia. And our focus in Australia is effectively developing wind and solar farms. We're delighted to support this event as we want to raise awareness of renewable energy amongst our future leaders in this country. So we're really pleased to be supporting this event. And
happy to have you on board.
Thank you. And I'm very pleased to announce the Silver Award winner is William Nacmanson. Congratulations, William. William's poster was on the role of pre-curtailed residential PV for primary frequency response. Congratulations, William.
Congratulations, William.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you to the AIE, firstly, and the sponsors for making this event possible, and also thank you to my supervisor, Professor Nando Ochoa, of course, as well. Yeah, so you know, recent years, we've seen a dramatic reduction in the cost of residential PV systems. For example, Australia now leads the world in the penetration of per house of residential PV. And if you add up all that energy, it's equivalent to, you know, one of the largest coal-fired power stations in the country. So if we hold large power stations by certain standards where they need to help in terms of ancillary services when things go wrong, then it starts to make sense that perhaps, you know, with just inverter standards or private aggregation, we start thinking about, okay, well, how can residential PV also help with the wider network? But of course, residential PV, unlike power stations, are located in distribution networks, not in the transmission system. So there's an extra layer of considerations there.
Yeah, sure. And how did you come about, like what sparked the idea to work on this?
Yeah, great question. So it was basically what's needed and what are people not really thinking about. So and you knew there's a lot of fantastic research going into distribution networks, into residential PV systems, but I realized there's a big opportunity here where one day we're going to need to see more ancillary service contribution from these systems and such. Yeah, so I started looking into it and trying to connect the system level to the distribution level and thinking about, okay, well, what's the kind of reasonable amount of curtailment we could expect from PV systems? Do they help? Is it worthwhile curtailing what is essentially free energy from the system perspective for PFR? Turns out, yes, it is. And yeah, it was just really, I knew it was a problem. The AEMO, the Australian system operator, have identified there's not enough PFR. It's only going to get worse as conventional generation is displaced. So yeah, I knew it was a problem, and I knew there's more to be done.
And you have the solution.
Well, not quite, but I'm certainly starting the conversation towards a solution. Yeah,
definitely. It is also an important factor, which is an issue, an immediate issue for the grid. Yeah, cool. So thank you, William, and congrats again, and thank you, Kevin, for the sponsorship and for being available today.
Thank you.
I will now move to our last sponsor, our platinum sponsor. We're very happy to have the Victorian State Government and specifically DELWP, the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning. DELWP is basically the arm for the government to represent its commitment to an energy transition that yields investment, jobs, and regional economic developments and outcomes. As a state, it also has the Victorian Energy Compare website, the Victorian Energy Saver, the Victorian Energy Upgrade Program, Energy Scorecard, and Energy for Business. And as Holly mentioned earlier today, we also have a recent grants coming in from the government as part of a recovery, a COVID recovery. So I'd like to invite Gabrielle Henry to speak on behalf of DELWP.
Thank you very much, and I'm really excited to be here as part of this event, and particularly as a platinum sponsor. As the introduction indicated, I'm part of the energy group within the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning, and my work involves a couple of different areas. One's emerging energy technologies, so things such as green hydrogen and the digitalisation of the energy sector, and also industry engagement. And that means that I get to hear about a lot of cool stuff that's happening across the energy industry in our state. And that makes me particularly excited to be involved in, hearing about all of the fantastic work that everyone has been doing, really pushing the forefront of innovation in our energy industry. So without further ado, I'd like to announce the
we need the rolling of the drums, because this is the platinum prize.
That's right, exactly. Drum roll, please. We can reveal our award winner is Saman Ahmadi. Very well done to Saman. Saman, congratulations. It was a really relevant piece of work. We have coming out to the Victorian Government earlier next year a zero emission vehicles roadmap. So it's a topic that we're very interested in, and congratulations, and very well deserved.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Congrats.
Thank you so much. I'm a bit shocked, but thank you all the judges, the AIE committee and the sponsors and all the participants that made it through the competition. This was a great opportunity for all of us, I guess.
Yeah, great, and we're definitely happy. And electrical vehicles, I think there's not much that needs to be. I guess on a state level, we don't need to say how important it is. Maybe on a federal level, it's still being discussed. But I think there's a lot of research to be done around that to find efficiencies. It's a whole new ball game in terms of the infrastructure that we need for electrical vehicles, and efficiencies are probably the key thing on all sides, on the charging, on the cars themselves, and of course on how we use them. This is why it's great to have research around this. And can you tell us a bit more about what the benefits or what can come from the research you have done?
Yes, of course. So the story is about changing the driving habits. So normally when we want to find a path between two locations, for example, from home to office, we use a shortest path. But what if we find an energy efficient path, right? And we know that EVs are desperate for energies. So we decided to find some energy efficient path instead of our traditional shortest path. And there are some challenges in this field. So there are two main problems, and which are we know that algorithms are working in the background to find these roads for us. So the first thing is that the roads should be accurate in terms of the energy consumption, and the second thing is the algorithm should be fast enough to provide us with energy efficient path. So we targeted these two challenges, and we decided to design more accurate and fast algorithms, which give us accurate energy efficient path, particularly for EVs, in a reasonable amount of time, and to make them feasible options on navigation systems. These were the main ideas in my research.
Cool. Yeah, thank you very much for that, Saman. And I think we're very happy to have all all the witness now, and then thank you, Gabrielle. Is there any more, as a platinum, do you wish to say a few more words on the state behalf, or should we move to?
I'm happy just to provide just a quick overview. You know, in particular, of, we've recently had a state budget announced, and that's got a lot of exciting initiatives. So if I may, I might just take the opportunity to provide a bit of an outline of some of those exciting initiatives. And Saman, you might be interested to hear that it also includes 25 million to accelerate the adoption of zero emission vehicles. And that includes rolling out a fast charging network for Victorian motorists across major highways. You would have heard of the concept of range anxiety, people looking at investing in a zero emission vehicle, often concerned about where they can recharge. And we're keen to ensure that we can help address some of those challenges to make sure that recharging is is not a concern. It's in terms of the budget, it's we've announced 1.6 billion to sort of address a lot of our key energy challenges and take advantage of the opportunities, and that involves crucial grid infrastructure, decarbonising our energy system, and driving down emissions as well. And this is the biggest investment in clean energy of any Australian state ever. It's a huge program. We're very busy getting a lot of it ready. It involves 540 million to establish 6 renewable energy zones across the state. We're also bringing online more than 600 megawatts of new energy through a second renewable energy auction. We've got an exciting $108 million program to help us prepare it for innovative and transformative renewable energy and hydrogen projects, including offshore wind. And my team in particular has been involved in that one. And we've also got a lot of areas where we're investing across sort of local communities. Got 27 million for local energy projects like microgrids and neighbourhood batteries. We've also got further investment in our solar homes program and sort of opening it up to small businesses and also supporting batteries. And a whole range of initiatives looking at replacing old and outdated wood and gas-fired heaters and upgrading cooling and hot water appliances in social housing. So that's just a little bit of a taste. There's a whole range of initiatives we've announced, and we're really hoping that we'll be able to sort of help foster initiative in the state, and we're really excited to see the development in these emerging technologies in the years to come.
Cool. That sounds quite amazing. Sounds like a real transformative plan to accelerate things that maybe could have been done before COVID, but now it's a great opportunity because people are now looking to what can we do more to move faster ahead, to accelerate. And I think it also is very important that it covers the different aspects, whether from a technology perspective or the different sectors. So I think everyone can, it's not just one sector that is going to benefit, it's really everyone that can do their bit and benefit from it. And I guess this is, we want to say that we work closely with the Energy Efficiency Council. So we are, even though we are kind of very general in our approach, but we do support energy transition and energy efficiency and actions and the grant. So yeah, we're very supportive. So we thank the government and yourself on it. Yeah, so we've reached the point where we've announced all the winners. So what I'd like to do is ask everyone to, I mean, technology is a bit limited. We are learning the limitations of it. So we would have liked to have everyone go online, unmute and clap their hands, but we have the panelists. So I'd ask all the panelists that are still here, the sponsors and the students to unmute and give a round of applause. So wait another few seconds to see that everyone is back. So yeah, so we're going to do a one round of applause for everyone. So I'll just prep it. So for the students, for the sponsors, for the universities, for the supervisors, I think we've actually didn't really put enough acknowledgement to the supervisors, because I think that they play an important part. So we won't go now naming them, but you know, we do think that it's important part of it. So yeah, so I'll just start clapping. So everyone feel free to join in. Yeah. And So again, thank you everyone. We also want to note that the Deakin University and RMIT also provided entries this year. We do hope that next time we'll actually have more people will submit, not just at the last minute. So it's become a bit of a thing that, it's literally the last day before the end of it. So, but we were very appreciative of the effort everyone has done. We have actually, the effort needed this time from the students is more than in the past, is to make the videos and to make the summaries and so on. So it's a bit different. So we also acknowledge that effort. And I'd like to say, generally as AIE, usually we do it on a state level. The competition is run every 2 years, but we are very keen to go national. So that means if anyone wants to have a conversation around it, but definitely with the universities, I think it's an important point. But apart from that, I want to take more time. But again, thank you everyone, and we're looking forward to seeing the research, those that won and those, not only those that won. I think it's important to say that all topics are very important. And especially as a researcher, one topic may evolve to another one, or a research topic may evolve to an actual product and help in the grid, or learnings can evolve into something that helps the grid. So I think it's a continuous effort across all levels that's very important. And we urge everyone to just continue working. Like the energy transition is not a short-term phase. It's a transition that will take decades. So we thank everyone for the effort, and we hope you continue doing your best and striving for excellence. That's it for me. So, and again, I guess before ending, I want to highlight that Glenn Jover did an amazing effort. Basically, I'd say 80% of the work was on his shoulders. So, acknowledgement to Glenn. Thank you everyone for being online and for people watching, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah and happy summertime.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.